welcome back. Today I wanted to talk to you about another prep ahead meal recipe that will make your life, at least one meal, a little bit easier for you. I was talking to my little brother recently. He's currently in residency. Doctors in training, doctors in general, they mirror parents in a way, right? They have erratic sleep patterns. They don't get to feed themselves as well. They take care of other people. And he asked me for some recipes to do here that are good for when he gets home after a 12-hour shift and he's really hungry and he wants something quick he can prepare. He wants something homemade. He doesn't want to go out. And something that he can prepare and have at home that will take maybe 10 to 20 minutes and he can eat and still have maybe an hour or two to digest before going to sleep and repeating the 12-hour shift the next day. I popped into my freezer and grabbed this. So this is from my episode about pesto. So we grow basil, so we have a lot of it. So that's why I do make a lot of pesto. I freeze it. It freezes well. I usually leave stuff in the freezer that I make for maybe 3 to 4 months. I don't generally like to go longer than that. But pesto, I freeze in these 1 ounce jars, which make it perfect for pasta. So if you don't have basil, usually when you go to the supermarket, I found that of all the herbs, basil's sold in like a big pack a lot of times. And sometimes you just need 4 or 5 leaves and then the rest end up going to waste while you're trying to figure out what to make with it. Pesto's your answer. Pesto can be made with any type of nuts, walnuts. Someone recently told me peanuts. I would love to try that. I make mine with walnuts or pine nuts. I'm going to be trying peanuts soon. And it pops in your fridge or the freezer and you can top it on sandwiches. You can have meat where you bake it in the oven or even poach it and top it on there. I used it for pasta, and that's the recipe I'd love to walk you through today. We have fresh tomatoes right now because it's summer. So I grabbed some tomatoes. I boiled some pasta. I used the long spaghetti noodle pasta. You can really use any type of pasta with this. It just in my head I had this image that the spaghetti noodles would be the most delicious. I like to have pasta on hand just in case, because sometimes when you're pulling together meals last minute, you can pair pasta like with some fresh veggies or in this case pesto. And if you have any protein like any poached chicken or shrimp on hand, you can throw that in with the pesto pasta. Boiled the spaghetti, and actually at this point if I had had an onion, I probably would have chopped an onion and sautéed it there. I tend to really like onions and garlic and everything. I avoided garlic only because I know that I put more than the recommended amount in pesto because I love garlic. I went ahead and boiled the pasta, and I used this pot specifically because it's dishwasher safe. It has no non-stick enamel on it, and it doesn't have a copper core or anything, so it's one of my favorites. I know the pasta at first is sticking out, but as it kind of cooks and shrinks, it goes into the pot more and it all cooks well through, about 10 minutes. I just keep moving it with some tongs. And I went ahead and drained the pasta, and then I dumped the pesto in. So I took the pesto out for a few minutes only to let it defrost a little so it'd be easier to scoop in. I scooped it into the hot pan while the pasta was draining. I went ahead and I put some salt, pepper, and olive oil on the pasta. Olive oil so it doesn't stick together. Salt and peppers to give it to some flavor. I definitely like putting a little more pepper than the salt. And then I went ahead and took that pasta back and then combined it into the pan with the pesto to let it warm a little, to let the flavors come together. And this is at the point if you have a protein like shrimp or chicken or fish, you can go ahead and just throw it in and toss it together so it gets a good mix. The spaghetti noodles, I used about 1/3 of a 17-ounce bag. And you can, adjust that however you feel. If you feel like when you're mixing it with the pesto, it's too little or too much, go ahead and add more or less if you've cooked that more or less. And then I top it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and it was such a good, quick, and easy meal. It was under 20 minutes. I used a colander and a pan and the tongs, all of which can go in the dishwasher afterwards to make easy cleanup. And it was such a fresh and easy meal. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode on pesto pasta, a quick and easy meal that's relatively healthy because it's got the pine nuts and the garlic and the fresh herbs right in the pesto. If you like what you saw, go ahead and comment with any recipes that you like to use with pesto. If you need the recipe, go ahead and watch my video on creating pesto where I do it with both pine nuts and walnuts. I think you can use any type of nuts you have on hand. If you want to stay up to date on my episodes, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I'm here every Sunday to talk about healthy, easy, nutritious things that you can pull together. You also need to make sure you're feeding yourself. And I hope you enjoy, and I will see you next Sunday.